This thing on? ISAC.
Protocol override complete. Re-establishing connection to JTF network.
Good. Prepare for broadcast and set the link parameters to... No thanks, Henry. We'll broadcast and get out of your hair.
Intelligence system analytic computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. The civilians have been secured.
The campus. A civilian outpost that survived the early days of the outbreak by sheer luck and determination from their leader, Henry Hayes. I'm not joking either. This community, this thriving beacon for humanity and decency, would not exist without him. Henry is a charismatic, driven, fair, and forward-thinking man in his early 40s, born into a family of laborers. That early life rubbed off on him because he took to the laborer lifestyle before settling down with his wife and son. Henry's wife was a nurse and was stationed at the Roosevelt Island quarantine before everything over there went to hell in a handbasket.
Sir, civilians are not permitted beyond this point.
I'm trying to find my wife. She was assigned here.
Then I'm sorry, this is a quarantine zone.
She's a nurse, not a patient.
All personnel are required to remain inside the perimeter until further notice.
You can't keep people locked up in there.
The staff were fully briefed on the situation.
The hell they were. She left for work 3 days ago, expecting to be home that evening.
Look, you can leave your name and I'll try to get word to her.
It's Hayes. Henry Hayes.
Hayes, got it. Now go home, Mr. Hayes. It's not safe to be running around out here.
Both his son and wife died shortly after the outbreak. Her cause is unknown, but we can make some assumptions based on what we know happened to the personnel at the quarantine site. His son died of green poison shortly after it all started. After all that, he still managed to pull together in the middle of the collapse of society and lead the people at the campus settlement. This isn't to say that it was easy, though. Originally, the settlement got by through sheer force of will and a whole lot of luck. They were harassed and threatened by outcasts daily, plus roving bands of true sons attempting to move into their territory. In the middle of that turf war, they stood strong and kept their people safe. They had to make some rules, though, the most important being, pull your own weight or you are gone.
Let's get the unhappy business out of the way. We're making some changes. I doubt you're going to like them, but we have two choices. Pull together and work hard, or die. First off, from now on, everybody works. Everybody. You don't find a way to pitch in, you're out on your own. It's not fair for the people who work the hardest and risk the most to support folks that sit by. Obviously, exceptions will be made for the injured and infirm, and we're not going to have kids working in coal mines, but anybody can contribute by doing simple chores. It's mostly luck that got us this far. If we're going to survive, it's going to take sacrifice and the hardest work we've ever done. Anybody who isn't willing to do their share can't stay here. It's as simple as that.
To make matters worse, they were running out of time as the food supplies began to dwindle as supply drops in the DC area stopped coming. They weren't growing crops well at the time either. Their long-term prospects started to look grim.
We're screwed. Any way you look at it, absolutely screwed.
Come on, Henry, we'll figure it out.
How, huh? We're running out of food. It's been weeks since the last supply drop. I don't think any more are coming.
We're not going to starve.
A heaping plate of wishful thinking isn't going to cut it. Our crops aren't coming along fast enough or well enough.
Have you been out there lately? The city is a buffet of wild game. There's more raccoons hanging out on K Street than there used to be lobbyists.
It doesn't do us any good if we're on lockdown in here. Those fucking outcasts are hell-bent on wiping us off the map.
Henry, we're going to pull through. We can eat grasshoppers and kudzu if we have to. This ain't Jamestown. We're not going to end up as cannibals.
I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I just lost perspective there for a minute.
You've got a heavy load, that's for sure. But you got us this far. I'm with you all the way.
They had a few solutions. With the collapse of society, the local wildlife started to take back what was originally theirs. Raccoons, deer, squirrels, and more pushed into the area, and with some help from local division agents gathering up supplies, they saw their ability to farm and cultivate their own food increase exponentially. And they had the markings of society on their hands once again.
What the hell is that? I'm not eating it. Suit yourself. What is it? Stew. No fucking shit.
What do you want to hear? It's beef bourguignon, just with some substitutions.
I'm asking a serious question.
Look, either eat the fucking stew or don't eat the fucking stew. If you want to be a big boy, try it and see if you like the taste. Then if you really, really want to know what's in it, I'll tell you.
String beans, cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, corn.
We have space for corn?
A few rows won't be a problem, and corn is great for companion planting.
I'll take your word for it. What else?
Zucchini. Basically any variety of squash we have seeds for.
I thought squash was a winter vegetable.
The difference between summer and winter squash is mainly how mature the fruit should be when you harvest it.
You learn something every day.
Oh, don't forget melons.
Who could forget melons?
So now what? Where do they stand today? Honestly, they still aren't out of the woods yet, but they are farther along than most. Their farms are bringing out vegetables like never before, and they've even managed to begin beekeeping for trade and traditional consumption. This just makes them a bigger target though, as the outcasts keep getting pushed around by the Black Tusk and are getting pushed further into the campus's territory. The constant combat has caused them to lose some people, and it's taking its toll.
I don't know what to do.
You already did all you could.
He just slipped away. 1 second he was there looking at me, and then he wasn't.
I'm sure it made it better for him, having you there. It's gonna be hard for a time. Real hard. You're gonna keep playing it back in your head. You've got to try not to.
How do I stop it?
Don't give in to it. Think about something else. Anything else.
I've tried.
You just have to persist. It's a pit you don't want to get stuck in, because it's hard to get out of. You've got to find a way to float above it.
I don't know if I can.
You can. I know you can.
To make matters worse, they need workers badly. Civilization takes more than security and food to function. They need laborers, electricians, plumbers even. They need hands everywhere to take care of things.
It's asking too much of them.
You think there's any other choice?
This isn't sustainable. I'm pushing them too hard.
Everybody understands the situation, Henry. It sucks, but nobody questions that it's necessary.
Well, then maybe it's asking too much of me.
Again, what choice is there?
See if you can get in touch with Kelso.
You really think the division is gonna ride to our rescue?
All I know is we aren't likely to get help if we don't ask for it.
And that, agents, is where you come in. They're reaching out for help, and you're gonna give it to them. They need areas cleared for hunting parties, and outfitting armor to those parties to keep the streets clear of hostiles and keep those parties safe. They need control points under their jurisdiction, so their guys have safe ports in the storm while they're out away from home. They need more friendly faces on the streets with them. The campus doesn't just need division agents though, they need civilians too. They're training people to do the work that needs to be done in exchange for a safe place to rest their heads and get some fresh food, equipping people to become engineers for maintenance and salvage work around the campus, off-site construction crews to build and maintain water pipelines and electrical grids where they can, laborers who can help build new facilities, tend the gardens, run the school, or even just be another pair of hands capable of handling odd jobs. Heck, if you're of the musically inclined, they might even be willing to add you to the weekly band rotation. So if you're listening to this, if what I'm saying sounds even remotely like it's a good idea, head to the campus and tell them ISAC Intel sent you. They'll be grateful for the extra pair of hands. Keep your eyes wide and your mind open. DC isn't done with us yet, and we have more than enough work ahead of us. Until then, I'm out.
Look, I know you're scared. We all are. We've all lost more than we ever thought we could bear, but there is plenty more to lose. And that's exactly why this place matters. On our own, none of us can do much about any of this. We just get swept away. But together, we have a chance. What we have here is security, shelter, companionship. Supplies enough to give us a chance to become self-sustaining. That's more than a lot of people were given. I can promise you one thing. I'm not giving up. Ever.